Hello and welcome to Northwoods Exploration. As always, my name is Jeremy, and today we are continuing the series titled Our Favorite Things. We're talking about our favorite knives and tools, etc. In our first installment of this series, we discussed our favorite EDC knives, in which I shared several of my favorite knives that I like to carry on me every single day. If you didn't catch that first video, you can check it out in the description below. I'll make sure to put it there. But today we're going to move forward and we are going to talk about multi-tools. Let's get to it, guys. Alright guys, so when it comes to multi-tools, a lot of different people have a lot of different thoughts on the particular subject. Most people think of something like this. This is a cheap little Sheffield multi-tool that you can get at Walmart for about $3 or $4. Now, I'm not saying that these are horrible, but I'm not saying that these are good as well. So, I mean, like for example, if you want to pull the knife out of this, that knife does not lock. That is not safe. That is not good. Now, if all you can afford is $2, $3, $4 for a multi-tool, okay, this will be ultimately better than nothing. However, just as I always say when it comes to tools, whether it be knives, axes, hatchets, whatever it may be, quality is better than quantity. Folks, I got a drawer full of knives upstairs that I don't carry. Why? Because I bought cheap garbage like this for years. So when it comes to a multi-tool, you need something that's not only going to be safe to use, that's not going to slice your finger if it slips, but you also want something that's going to be durable. And so with that in mind, let's go ahead and talk about my favorite multi-tools. And I have to start with the first, I would say, decent to really good multi-tool that I ever purchased, and that is the Gerber Suspension NXT. The Gerber Suspension NXT. This one has, in particular, 15 different tools. The closed length is 4.25 inches. As far as the blade length, the largest blade on this knife is 2.25 inches, and I will pull that out. Oh, this reminds me of a really cool feature that this has. So, the tools are actually on the outside, so you don't even have to open it, which is really, really stinking cool. The knife is actually in a really good spot on the outside here, and it locks into place. It doesn't move. You don't have to worry about cutting your fingers. That's unless you slip like an idiot. But basically the way you shut it is they have this little thing right here on both sides, and you just pull them back, and then it locks into place. The thing that I love about this tool, multi-tool the most, is that the tools are on the outside. And just like a minute ago, I like my other multi-tool we'll talk about here in a minute, I open it up thinking the tools are going to be in there, but actually what makes this so convenient is that your tools are already on the outside, and there's 12 of them there. You have a couple flathead screwdrivers, you have a knife, you have a file, you have a Phillips head, you have a bottle opener. I mean, there's so many different things on this particular multi-tool. Now, it is missing one thing that is extremely important to me, and that is a saw. This Suspension NXT does not have a saw on it, and for that reason, as good as this multi-tool happens to be, this lives in my dive box. This hangs out with my dive knives and my dive gear. I have a watertight box that I keep all that type stuff in, and that's where this lives to repair my dive equipment, because I don't think I'm going to need a saw when I'm scuba diving or snorkeling. So this is the first multi-tool I ever purchased. Oh, one thing before I forget, this actually has a pocket clip on it too. A deep carry pocket clip. So that's also really, really nice. I will say that if you put it on your back pocket and you sit down and it gets hung on something, I did bend this back a couple times. So just keep that in mind when you sit down, or if it's on your pocket, it can get hung on something. But yeah, very, very nice. Very, very strong multi-tool. Would definitely recommend the Gerber Suspension NXT. Now, my primary My primary multi-tool is this. This is the Leatherman Super Tool 300. The Leatherman Super Tool 300. And this does not have any tools on the outside, which I'm totally fine with. Now, one cool thing it does have, it allows you to take measurements. Like you can see on there, hopefully. Let me adjust it. Yeah, there you go. Now you can see it. So you can take measurements, and of course, the way you would do that is like this, not how I had it a moment ago. And you'd have it like that to take measurements. But this is an over-engineered multi-tool. This is going to run you probably about $100 to $150, depending on where you get it from. But this has the saw. It actually has two of them, which is beautiful. One for more precision work, one for going through trees. So something as simple as there are some branches that you need to take to be able to build a shelter. Great move there. This does have a knife on it. The knife length on this is 3.2 inches. 3.2 inches, pretty sharp, very good. And it also has a really nice file on it as well. These are the features that really won me over on this. And by the way, these do lock back. Like that's not going anywhere. And the way you release it, there's a button right here. You push the button down, it releases, and then you can close it. Pliers are really, really, really hefty. Now, this does not have a spring on it, okay? No spring on this one, but it does have the wire cutters here as well as right here. So this is a very over-engineered multi-tool. This is a standard, an absolute standard of my EDC from, I would say, late October, or late fall, mid to late fall, all the way probably until May. This will be in a little holster on my belt. This does come with a little leather sheath. I just don't really care for it all that much. I mean, it's very beautiful. I use it if I'm carrying this and I'm like at church or going someplace a little bit more formal. But this multi-tool is very over-engineered for most everyday life. But in the wintertime in the Northwoods, this is a must-have on your person. You can put it in your backpack, but I think this is best served being actually on your person. This is the Leatherman Super Tool 300. Now, the next multi-tool is not really a multi-tool, but I have to include it. I absolutely have to include this particular tool, and that is my Victornox Swiss Army EvoGrip S18. Victorinox Swiss Army EvoGrip S18. This has 12 tools. The closed length is 3.35 inches. The blade length is 2.5 inches. And yes, the blade does lock back, which is an absolute must. Blade's easy to open, just like that. And yes, it does lock into place. How you release it, this little button right here. You push this down, and it closes. Now, my favorite things about this particular multi-tool, number one, it has a saw. That's a must. On any multi-tool that I carry every day, it has to have a saw. And you think that's silly, but I'll tell you. So this past winter, I go out to put my little girl in the vehicle into her car seat. And there's a pine tree that is over next to the vehicle on her side of the vehicle. I can't get her in because there's been so much snow, the branches are sagging. So what do? I grab this little bad boy right here, open up the saw off those limbs that were in the way. I'd been needing to do that since this past summer, but I didn't want her to get wet with snow and cold. I didn't want the snow falling on me. So I decided, okay, well, we're going to cut this down. So I handed my little one to my wife, and I proceeded to cut it down. This has all the standard tools that you would expect it to have. On the bottom here It has a Phillips screwdriver, which is okay, but I found screwing some things in, this wants to close on you, so that's never fun. One feature that this has that I have used a surprising amount, and I'm going to try to get this out because it's a little bit more difficult for me to do so. Oh, it's coming just fine now. This has a pair of scissors. You think, well, what in the world would I use scissors for? This. Every once in a while, I'll get a stray hair in my mustache. My wife refers to them as Yosemite Sams. You know, Yosemite Sam had the, curled up mustache. They get a little wild, so I'll just grab it and that's it. And so that's very, very helpful. This has the saw. It has the main knife. This also has a bottle opener. And I want to show you this feature if my fingernails, which are mostly non-existent, will cooperate. All right, finally got both sides. Okay, so one of the things I love about this flathead screwdriver is on this end. This will actually, I can't demonstrate this, but this will actually compress in and lock into place where it will not move on you. So I think that's important. Of course, you have the larger flathead screwdriver bottle opener. You have the smaller flathead screwdriver here. Also another bottle opener for smaller tasks. I think that's more of a can opener there. But this has everything that I need, and once again, nothing that I don't. I carry this in the summer, and yes, I still carry this in the winter time for smaller tasks that my Super Tool 300 may not need to be used for. But once again, any tool that I carry every single day, I don't care whether or not it has a knife blade, but I want it to have a Phillips head screwdriver, a flathead screwdriver. I want it to have a saw. And if it has those three things, we're in business. I don't have to have all these other things. But yeah, this has a toothpick, and it also has a pair of tweezers, which I've actually used both of those. I've used all of these tools within the last year of having this. But if it has the tools that I need, it's fine. It's good. The knife's not going to close on my finger. The saw is sharp, and I know how to sharpen it if I need to. It has all the tools that I need, and once again, nothing that I don't. And so even in the summertime, this is what I'll carry. I don't carry the Super Tool 300 in the summertime. It's big, it's bulky. If I'm wearing a pair of shorts, I don't want my shorts, on one side halfway down my butt crack. So, I mean, it's hard enough when I carry a Glock 19 on my hip, keeping my pants pulled up. I mean, for heaven's sake, I stopped carrying a Glock 30. For those of you that are not Glock fanboys, that is the Compact 45 ACP. So I actually had to stop carrying that because that was a boat anchor on my hip. I went with the Glock 19. But what I'm trying to say is, like I've said from the beginning, it's all about what your needs happen to be. I need something that has a saw. I need something that has tools on it. And as long as it has those three things, a flathead screwdriver, it has a Phillips head screwdriver, and it's got a saw, I'm good to go. I don't always need the Super Tool 300, but I do carry that in the winter. But in the summer, when I want something light and easy, the EvoGrip S18 is perfect. All right, so that is going to do it for this video. Don't forget, if you have comments, leave them down below. Also in the description, I have included links to all these products at either Blade HQ, Knife Center, or on Amazon, depending on who has it in stock at the time of the shooting of the video. And don't forget, guys, to like and subscribe to the channel and share with your friends. Help us grow this channel. And as always, come join the adventure. Take care, guys. We'll see you next time.